Can you imagine kings and queens marrying their own siblings to keep power in the family? That was precisely the case with the Ptolemaic dynasty, which ruled Egypt for nearly 3 centuries. Today we start with that question. Why did these Hellenistic monarchs adopt such an extreme practice, one that sounds straight out of Greek mythology? Stick around, because in the next minute I'll explain how that royal incest played a pivotal role in the history of one of antiquity's most fascinating kingdoms. When Alexander the Great died in 323 before Common Era, his vast empire was carved up among his generals. One of them, Ptolemy, received Egypt. With ambition and savvy, Ptolemy I, Soter, the savior, declared himself pharaoh and laid the groundwork for a dynasty that blended Greek culture with Egyptian tradition. Under his rule, Egypt transformed from a Macedonian satrapy into a thriving center of learning, commerce, and power, powered, of course, by the life-giving Nile. Ptolemy I wanted more than territory. He wanted an enduring legacy. His crowning achievement was founding Alexandria, a brand new capital on the Mediterranean coast. With its grid-patterned streets, state-of-the-art harbour, and the mighty lighthouse of Pharos, it became the marvel of the ancient world. But Alexandria's real brilliance lay in its intellectual life. Ptolemy I sponsored the Great Library, a repository of tens of thousands of papyrus scrolls, and the Mouse Ion, an institution akin to a scholarly academy. Philosophers, scientists, and poets flocked there, ensuring that Ptolemy's name would be etched not only in stone but in the minds of posterity. Here's the curious bit. The Ptolemies married their siblings. Why? To legitimize their divine right and keep the bloodline pure, tracing directly back to Ptolemy I. They borrowed this from ancient Egyptian divine mythology, where sibling gods were commonplace. By marrying within the family, each new Ptolemy or Berenice could inherit without outside challenges. At the same time, the Ptolemaic coinage, the famous Alexandrian tetradrach, became the Mediterranean's commercial standard. Carthage, Rhodes, Anatolia and beyond all trusted that perfectly struck coin, extending Egypt's economic reach even as sibling marriages reinforced power at home. Fast forward centuries to Cleopatra VII, the dynasty's last scion. She understood that Egypt's fate hung in the balance between Rome and her homeland. Fluent in multiple tongues and a master diplomat, she forged alliances first with Julius Caesar and then with Mark Antony. Her charisma and political acumen challenged Octavian himself. Her story peaks at the Battle of Actium, where Egypt's destiny became inseparable from Rome's triumph. Cleopatra's blend of ambition, intelligence, and allure cemented her legend, marking the dramatic climax of a dynasty that began with a lieutenant of Alexander and ended defying the era's greatest empire. The Ptolemaic dynasty leaves behind a legacy of grand monuments, remarkable scholarship, and scandalous practices, from the Great Library of Alexandria to sibling marriages designed to preserve supremacy. They bridged east and west, linking the Nile with the Aegean and shaping the pulse of the ancient Mediterranean. If you enjoyed this voyage into Hellenistic Egypt, hit subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. Next time, we'll venture into medieval France to explore the Capetian dynasty. See you in the next chapter.